What's up? I'm Ashley, and thanks to Reddit, Tumblr, and Castmaran on Instagram, we have spoilers for episodes 5 and 6 for Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2. Today, we're going over episode 5, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed already, because I will be going over episode 6 really soon. So with that being said, let's jump into episode 5. After we see Colin propose to Penelope in episode 4, we pick right back up in episode 5, where of course Penelope says yes. The both of them go inside of the house to announce to everyone that they're engaged. Everyone is excited, especially Hyacinth, but who's not excited is Eloise. She's thinking that the only reason why Penelope befriended her in the first place is to get close to her brother. Eloise tells Penelope something along the lines of, if he doesn't know the real you, then he can never really love you. Penelope then asks Eloise for time. She needs more time to be able to tell Colin the truth. So Eloise is like, okay, I'll give you time, but hurry up. Sometime after this, Penelope rushes home to write her next issue of Whistledown, so that she can let everyone know about her engagement to Colin. And because Benedict wasn't at the house during the announcement, he finds out the next morning in bed with Tilly from the new issue of Whistledown. Anthony and Kate have baby news, and they're excited to let everyone know. But after finding out about Colin and Penelope's engagement, they decide to wait and make that announcement later. But Anthony thinks that Colin and Penelope are moving a little too fast, so Anthony, Benedict, and Colin goes to Will's club so they can discuss it. Colin tells them that he understands the reason why they may think they're moving fast, but tells them that me and Penelope have known each other for all these years now, and I've been having feelings for her for a while, and I just didn't understand them. Meanwhile, Portia is back at the house, mad that Penelope gave up Lord Debling. She starts bad-mouthing the Bridgertons, and she just doesn't understand how Penelope, her daughter, was able to get Colin. She thinks that she somehow trapped him. And while Portia is going in on Penelope, that's when Colin walks in and puts Portia in her place. He's telling her, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm marrying her because I love her. You just can't see what great of a person she is, but I can. He gets Penelope out of there and takes her to where they're going to live. Penelope is feeling great. She's in awe because no one has ever taken up for her before. And the first one who's doing so is her man, her fiance, her soon-to-be husband. So after they get home is when they go all the way. And this is where Penelope loses her virginity. It's very painful for Penelope, but it's said to be a very sexy scene. Back at the Bridgerton house, Kate notices that Eloise is the only one not excited about Colin and Penelope's engagement. So she decides to sit down and talk to her about it. Eloise opens up to Kate and lets her know all about the shock and dismay that she's feeling. She tells her that even though she's not surprised about Penelope keeping a secret from her, it's that she's shocked at the fact that Penelope has been having these feelings for Colin this whole time. Eloise tells her it's hard watching everyone pair off, and she's worried about being alone. While Penelope and Colin are out, they notice that the King's men are handing out pamphlets. They stop and get one, and here is where they discover that the Queen has a bounty out on Lady Whistledown, and that there's a £5,000 reward for whoever uncovers her identity. Colin is excited. He's like, finally, she's going to get what she deserves. And apparently, Penelope was going to tell Colin at this moment that she was Lady Whistledown, but then after this happened, she decides to wait and do it later. Back at the Bridgerton house, Eloise is being honest with Colin and letting him know that she doesn't agree with him marrying Penelope, especially since her and Penelope are at odds right now. Colin says, okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but I love her and I'm still going to marry her. He asks for Eloise's blessing, but doesn't give her a chance to respond. Instead, he tells her that he has a present for her and hands her the pamphlet that says the Queen has a bounty out for Lady Whistledown. At the Featherington house, Prudence and Philippa are discussing about how easy it will be for the Queen to unmask Lady Whistledown. But Penelope disagrees and says Lady Whistledown is way too careful to be unmasked. Philippa and Prudence then changes the conversation to how was Penelope able to get Colin Bridgerton? And surprisingly, Portia steps in and defends Penelope. She says they're all Featherington ladies and that they all support each other. I don't know what she's talking about, but okay, Portia. And after this conversation with her family, Penelope starts writing her next Whistledown issue. The next ball is thrown by the Bridgertons, and here is where Cressida finds out her dad engaged her to this old man, and this old man wants to have kids. Cressida tries to talk to Eloise about it, but Eloise is too worried about Colin and Penelope. Eloise then confronts Penelope and tells her that she has until midnight to let Colin know that she's Lady Whistledown, or else she's gonna tell him. At the engagement ball, Benedict shows up with Lady Tilly. Violet invites Marcus, even though Lady Danbury doesn't agree with this relationship, and she doesn't even seem to really like her brother. Francesca introduces John to Anthony, and when Francesca and John walk away, Anthony, Violet, and Lady Danbury discuss how they are not a good match. They think that Francesca and John are way too similar and that John will never be able to get Francesca out of her shell. And I think they need to mind their business. Extroverts are always concerned about getting introverts out of their shell. Leave us alone. They're also concerned about Francesca upsetting the Queen, because the Queen already matched Francesca with Lord Samadani, and that this will be yet another Bridgerton defying the Queen. But they decide to let this run its course. And somewhere in between all of this, Kate and Anthony finally announces that they are pregnant. And we're still at the engagement ball, and here is where Colin finally makes the announcement about him and Penelope being engaged. And Colin still doesn't know yet that Penelope is Lady Whistledown. So after his announcement, Eloise says she wants to make an announcement. And in so many words, but still being discreet, says that Penelope needs to hurry up and tell Colin. They all decide to play a game of charades, but Eloise isn't interested. Instead, she's focused on the clock, counting down the minutes until midnight. Cressida tries talking to Eloise again, where she tells her she's going to be the one who finds out who Lady Whistledown is and get that money so I won't have to marry that old man. But being that Eloise's mind is somewhere else, she shuts her down and tells her, I wasn't even able to unmask Lady Whistledown, so you won't be able to either. Cressida gets mad and walks away. As it's getting closer to midnight, Penelope is becoming even more stressed and worried, especially since everyone there is talking about Lady Whistledown. She's so nervous that she has to walk away and take a minute for herself, but when she comes back and ready to let Colin know, she notices that everyone in the room was talking about how no one would want to marry Lady Whistledown. And with Cressida hearing this and not wanting to get married to that old man, she comes up with a plan. She then stands up in front of everyone and announces that she's Lady Whistledown. Right after that is when Penelope passes out. And that's the end of episode 5. Penelope just be playing. She had so many times to tell Colin that she's Lady Whistledown. But instead, there were all these unnecessary interruptions. But let me know what y'all think. What are your thoughts on episode 5? Do you think Penelope needs to woman up and stop playing? Let me know down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.